episode of What's for Dinner. Another busy weeknight, and I didn't take anything out to thaw, and I was really bad. We were out of town this past weekend. Molly had band competition out of state, and we had to go, and we went to Busch Gardens. Yay! That's my happy place. And so I didn't make my menus this week. But anyway, I decided I'm going to make some what everyone would know as SOS, or beep on a shingle, or cream beef on toast. So let's see what goes into this. I'm going to make enough that this is like a double batch from what I would normally make. But, well, not normal. This is what I normally make. But if you were to look up a recipe using 1 jar of the dried beef, then this would be doubled. So we're going to use 2 jars of dried beef. You find this in the canned meat section of your grocery store, and it's very convenient to have on hand. I think this is definitely something everyone should have in their food storage because you can do a lot with this. A stick of butter, or margarine, or a half a cup of vegetable oil, a half a cup of flour, 4 cups of milk, your choice. I'm going to use about a teaspoon each, garlic powder, onion powder. And this dried beef is salt cured, so we're not going to add any salt. But the only other thing that we are going to do is I'm going to pop these open. Let me bring my pot over here just so I get this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and stick this butter in the pot. And I'm going to start it to melting. Okay. And just because I'm thinking about it while I'm doing this, I found the channel, and I don't know, I'm going to put a link to her channel underneath this video for no other purpose except that I found this channel and I am completely smitten with this woman. Okay, her name is, she calls herself, is Misty Shooter 223, and I've got to tell you, any prepper in their right mind who isn't subscribed to this woman needs to get subscribed to this woman because she's fantastic and has a ton of great information that we can all learn from her. So these you have to pop with a bottle opener, and I like to keep these. These are nice little juice glasses. I know that's kind of corny, and this is very salty. So I just like to kind of rinse it. I know this seems silly, but it's very, very salty. And my mom always rinsed this. And having a little extra water on there is not going to hurt it. And you can just go through this like a deck of cards and kind of get the water in between each one. You don't want to submerge it or anything. But you do want to get a lot of that salt off of there because your dish is just going to be too salty if you don't. Now, we're going to just slice this up. We're going to dice it up, really. I just stack everything thusly. And you know, we like to eat this for breakfast. This is a really good breakfast for a cold morning. When my kids have what they call EOG testing, which is the end of grade testing, they have that twice a year. My girls like to pick each 2 breakfasts that week for me to make. I usually do biscuits and gravy, usually do scrambled eggs with ham and cheese, usually do muffins and little smokies, and then sometimes we do SOS or cream beef on toast, baked omelets, cream of wheat, slow cooked oatmeal, that kind of stuff. And it's really kind of nice, but this is summertime and nobody, you know, it's really hot today in my town. We set a heat record. It was 97 degrees here, and it's just humid and gross outside, but I had to tell you, my garden really likes it. So anyway, let's bring all this stuff over here. And I'm melting this butter.
We're getting about the salt.
I told you it was salty. That's why we don't add salt. But once you get it mixed in with you're basically going to make a bechamel or a cream gravy here. And I've shown you how to make a bechamel before when we did our scratch mac and cheese, our fancy stovetop mac and cheese. We did a bechamel sauce, and really, you're going to take equal parts of butter and flour. So if you need to make this smaller, use 1/4 cup of butter and 1/4 cup of flour. If you need to make it bigger, use a cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, and a cup of flour. So we're just going to wait until this butter is melted. We're almost there. And it's been a while since I uploaded a video, but I've been busy. You know, spring came, summer's on its way. We've been running around with the kids. The end of the school year is at hand. And you know how it is. And I was getting ready to do dinner, and I couldn't think of what to make, and this is what popped into my head, because I went back to the pantry, and I stood there, and I looked, and I thought, I'm going to make cream beef on toast, because that's easy, and it's quick, and everybody likes it. So we're going to bring this up to a bit of a sizzle, and we're going to throw our flour in there. There it almost goes. And just dump it right in, and I'm going to switch off. Just like that. Let it saute for just a minute and get that flour just a little bit toasted. You want to cook that flour just a little bit. You don't want wallpaper paste. You want to make a bechamel sauce. I'm going to grab my milk. Just keep whisking this until you get that well combined. Keep the heat at a medium high. And stir this constantly until it thickens. I'm going to add my beef in here now. And you know, you can saute this beef in the butter before you add the flour, which is something I normally do, but I totally phased that right this time, so it's no big deal. And I have some homemade bread that I made on Sunday when we came home from our time away. And we're going to toast that up in the toaster, and we're going to serve this right on top of the toast. And that's going to be a really nice meal. And we'll have a vegetable or a salad on the side. And everybody will be happy. I always say, you know, it's the simplest things that make everyone happy. And just yesterday we were talking when I came home again. It's been a week. We spent 2 whole days in the amusement park for that band festival. And Mom and Dad are tired. You know, it doesn't take too much out of the kids, but Mom and Dad are tired. We probably walk 10 miles a day. But it was fun, and I love it there. But you know, you come home, and it's going to take me a week to recover. Anyway, yesterday I came home and I was tired, but a couple weeks ago, it was a week ago or so, Rick had made a big 20 quart pot of his spaghetti sauce that he did his video on. And I canned that, I pressure canned that, so I had like 10 jars. So yesterday when I came home, we had spaghetti, and it didn't take any time. Only time it took was the time it took for the pasta to cook and the sauce to heat up. And what I did with that sauce, because it's so thick with meat and mushrooms, is I actually cut that quart of meat sauce with a pint of store-bought sauce that we like, and it stretched it. It was the perfect amount for a meal. And we were thinking, you know, in an SHTF situation, you know, that would be a midday meal with a loaf of bread, and everybody would be happy, and no one would go away hungry. So it is very much so the simplest of things that make everybody full and satisfied. This creamed beef is one of those dishes.
And it's classic comfort foods.
This is a classic comfort food. It gets a bad rap. Too many war movies, too many episodes of MASH. I grew up eating this. You know, my mom used to make this when I was a kid. There's nothing wrong with this. I never understand why people would make fun of this supper. And then I like it even better for breakfast. I think it just lends itself to breakfast. But it's almost there. It's thickening up. It takes a little while. And it'll get silky. You just don't want it to sit still for too long, because then it's going to burn to the bottom of the pan. And if you get to a point where you think that maybe you didn't put enough flour or something in it, you need to give it enough time, because it will thicken up in a hurry on you. And then you'll if you had compensated before that, then it could be a bad thing. So I'm just, as a precautionary measure, I'm going to get down my Wonder Flour. You've seen me use that before. That's like my kitchen miracle. And I love it. I've got my cabinet is all discombobulated and things were in there backwards. Which is, not a surprise, because I'm not the most organized person in the world. You can see the steam starting to come up on that. And pretty soon I think it's going to get thick. But if you do find that you want it to be a bit thicker, you can throw some more Wonder in there without worrying about it clumping up. And I may do that. So we're going to let that come to a boil. And we'll see how thick it gets, and I'll come back in just a minute. Hey everybody, we're back. I'm just throwing some bread in the toaster here. My bread is too big for the toaster. Oh well. And it occurred to me that we didn't put our seasoning in there, so let's go ahead and do that. I've got some onion powder, about a teaspoon, whatever you like. If you don't like these things, put other things in it. Some garlic powder, about a teaspoon also. And I do like to put some black pepper, just a little bit. This thickened up perfectly. I didn't have to add any flour to it. I am just a very impatient person. Okay. So, this dish can be made entirely from your food storage. You have your dried beef in your food storage. You have flour in your food storage. You have vegetable oil or canned butter or home canned butter in your food storage. You also have canned evaporated milk, of which you would need 2 cans plus enough water to make 4 cups. Or 1 can plus enough water, make 2 cups, depending on your recipe that you're making for number of people. You're also going to need a loaf of homemade bread. In an SHTF situation, this is a perfect filling and hearty dish that's filled with protein and is very satisfying. It's easy to throw together, and it can be made on top of a stove, on top of a camp stove, or on top of a campfire. These are the kind of recipes that you're going to want to have in your arsenal in the event that we have to use them. Now, the other reason that I want you all to go check out Misty Shooter is because this woman lives in the mountains of Tennessee, and she cooks on a wood-fired stove inside her house, and she cooks on a wood-fired grill outside her house. And she does amazing things that I cannot imagine doing, but I mean, I've seen her do it. I know I can do it, but she is really fantastic. I want you all to go check her out. I'm going to put a link underneath. And my toast isn't toast yet. I like my toast a little more toasted than that, but anyway, let's turn this off. I'm going to wipe up my counter, I'm going to get down a plate, and I'm going to come back in just a minute and fix you a plate because I know you're hungry. So I'll be right back. Okay, you ready? I've got a nice toasted heel of bread here. Ladle over some of this creamed beef. Cover it up nice. I'm going to put some green beans, which you also have in your food storage, whether you have them home canned, grocery store canned, or dehydrated and rehydrated with your stored water. And there you have it. Cream beef on toast with green beans. A really simple and delicious meal that you can make entirely from your food storage. I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. And until next time, I'll see ya.